I'm Jacqueline Johnson.
And I'm Marina Middleton.
And this is Work Party, a podcast that's part work and part party. Work Party celebrates a new generation of women who are redefining the meaning of work on their own terms and having fun while doing it.
In this podcast, we are diving into all the areas of being a working woman: mind, body, and business. No topic is off limit.
Real talk and hot takes. Think of us as your internet work wives. This is Work Party,
the podcast.
Wait, where's the champagne?
What happens when your career doesn't follow a straight line and ends up being your biggest advantage? In today's workforce, career paths look very different than they used to. The average person is expected to change careers 5 to 7 times in their lifetime, and nearly 40% of workers say that they're actively considering a career pivot right now. So the idea of a linear career is basically outdated. Our guest today is someone who's built an incredible career by leaning into that reality. Adrien Fleming has worked across luxury sports, high-end fashion retail, and now tech, where she leads employer brand activations at Zillow. From producing iconic experiences at the Kentucky Derby to curating luxury retail moments at Saks Fifth Ave, to now helping Zillow rethink how companies attract talent through culture-first recruiting. I'm so excited to talk about this. Adrien's career provides and proves that your skills travel even when the industry changes. So Adrien, welcome to Work Party. We're so excited to have you.
Oh, thank you. It's a party. It's a party.
It really is. And I'm excited because you have really redefined how people think about hiring, how they think about showing up for themselves and careers. And so let's start from the beginning.
Yeah.
Big picture, your pivot story. Tell us a little bit where you started, where you are now.
Yeah. Oh, so where I started. Do we have time for that? Because we're going to need a coffee. But where I started, I actually thought that I was going to be a news anchor. So I went to East Carolina University, got my broadcast journalism degree with a minor in marketing, and I started working for a celebrity outlet blog, and I would do red carpet. So I was doing like red carpet interviews. And during that time being in college, I worked in hospitality. And so I gained an interest in hotels. So that's what brought me to Miami. I actually got my master's in hospitality and tourism. And I just aligned the marketing with tourism and curating experiences. So from there, I started, with the cruise lines. And then from the cruise lines, I went to Longines. I was in luxury retail. So if you don't know, that is watches. So the same level as like a Rolex. Mm-hmm. And they sponsored all the heavy hitter equestrian events. So I had the opportunity to do Kentucky Derby, Belmont, Preakness. So I was like in that world. And then from there, I went over to Saks Fifth Avenue where I managed in-store events. And so all the merchants within the stores, all the designers, they would come to me to curate or boost their sales. So they'll say like, hey, we have this item that's launching on Thursday. Can we get the foot traffic to it? And so I would curate those experiences either with the designer or with the buyer. And then I did a career pivot. I went over into employer branding at Zillow, as well as change industries from retail to tech. So that's very like high level.
I'm obsessed that pivoting, that you led into this, because I just find it that a lot of women think pivoting means throwing away everything that you've built, all of the skills that you've, developed through these different opportunities. But what skills did you know you were bringing with you into this next chapter?
Oh, that's easy. My relationship building. I mean, you're a prime example of that since, Create and Cultivate is a flagship partner of ours. So for me, it was storytelling. It was relationship building. And then it was about curating experiences that people actually resonate with. And so I knew that I could take that with me anywhere. A lot of people, when they hear my background, it's like, okay, you went from retail and then to tech, and then you're like in HR with employer branding. But really, I've learned through all my pivots that my skills are transferable. And it's just about how do I take this on the journey with me?
Yeah, it's interesting. So Jacqueline was laid off right before she started her new company at the time, No Subject, I believe.
Yeah.
I was laid off from Yahoo before I became an entrepreneur and went out on my own. And I feel like these pivotal moments, these transitions that force us to make a change, can sometimes like shake us up a little bit and feel like we're starting from scratch.
Yeah.
Did you ever feel like you're starting from scratch, or were you always like, oh, I'm not starting from scratch, it's a different opportunity?
I did feel like you're starting from scratch because anyone who knows that has been laid off, I'm very transparent about it. It hits your ego.
Totally.
So you think it's you. And at the end of the day, I've been around it so long, especially now that I'm underneath a HR talent acquisition umbrella, it's part of the business. Like companies have to pivot and do that, and it's a business decision. So I think we need to start with understanding like it's not you. It's definitely not you. I mean, at the end of the day, it's like their loss. So I think once you kind of own that and then move past that, I think it's like sky's the limit from there.
I love that. And I'm curious, early in your career, what did success look like to you and how has that changed now?
Ooh, success for me was like linear because I'm going to be honest, I have parents that have been with the same job forever, right? And so I grew up in a household where it's like you go to college, you get the degree, you get the job, and then it's like, okay, you stay there. And so we have a hard time connecting because, to your point, you had a great data point, 5 to 7 pivots, 5 to 7 jobs. Like, girl, I'm almost there. I think I'm at like my 4th. So that statistic is real. And so for me, it's just really about like owning that pivot, owning that space. How do I navigate it? Because times have changed. Like, so success for me is about alignment. Success for me is about impact. Is there impact in your work? And success for me is about autonomy, having the autonomy to flex your skills, flex what you can and can't do, and show your value.
What's a pivot or career move that didn't go the way you thought it would? And what did that teach you?
Oh, I love this question because that actually did happen to me like with a former employee because when you get laid off, you go in panic, right? You go in panic mode, you go into survival mode, and then so you panic apply, right? Because you just don't want to look bad to your friends or you just want to keep up this like facade, oh, I got it, I'm good, I'm gonna go get another job. And then so you panic apply. And so for me, that's what I did. It's just like, oh, I gotta get a job, I gotta get a job, I gotta get a job. And then so I did get an opportunity that was in events, since I like to do events, but it wasn't in an industry that was a cultural fit for me. And so at first, I'm like, this didn't pan out. Like, you took this job because you felt like you needed to. But the biggest lesson for me was I walked away knowing what leadership I want to work under and what culture I want to work for. So I feel like when you're in those situations where it doesn't work out, it helps you be more intentional about your next decision. And if you are in a safe space that you don't have to panic apply. I mean, because at the end of the day, it has to deal with like finances. So if you're in a space where you're financially comfortable or you're just comfortable. Be okay with being intentional with your next decision when you know, like, this is not the space I want to be in. Like, this is not the environment. I know what success for me looks like. I know what alignment looks like for me. And so I want to be intentional with choosing that.
Yeah, and you get to choose that because you show up so much better for yourself and the company when you are aligned. Before we talk about employer brand, let's talk about personal brand.
Ooh.
A lot of people hear personal brand and immediately think it's like self-promotion or being all the time online all the time. What does personal branding actually mean in the career context?
I think that's a good call out because personal branding is very synonymous with like entrepreneurship and people feel like they can't do it in a corporate space. And so I think you need to tap into your greatest skill. Like, what makes you you? Like, what is your biggest flex? So if you know you're like a top negotiator and you can close a deal, you need to make that your personal brand. So when people are in situations at work, they have a contract and it's like, oh, I don't want to pay this, but this is what they normally charge. It's like, no. Let me go to Marina. Let me go to Adrien because I know she's going to get this deal closed and I know she's going to negotiate us a better rate. So I think you have to lean in to your skill set, like lean into what your superpower is, and whatever your superpower is, make that your brand in corporate America.
100%. And I think it actually benefits the company when you do have a personal brand because they especially a personal brand that aligns with the company.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like someone that is obviously like integrity and all that stuff, but like shows up. I will never forget when we went to an event together.
Oh,
and like the way that
you about to tell some secrets? What happened?
Yeah. It's just like you were such an amazing networker.
Yeah.
And I remember you introduced me better than I could ever introduce myself. And it was interesting. It had me like look into like, okay, well, what is my personal brand? How do I want to show up? How are people perceiving me? And like thinking about those, like I love when, okay, if you're a good negotiator and someone is trying to think of like, I need someone to close a deal, they're going to think of you. So personal branding opens opportunities for you also in your career. So you need to build it.
Absolutely.
Non-negotiable. Love that. For people who don't own a business and work inside a large corporation, how do you feel like they can like alleviate that risk of building their personal brand or like play politics? Like what are some things that they can do?
Well, I think it has to deal with like understanding like the guidelines and rules. Because if we're going to be honest, like every company has guidelines, they have rules when it comes to speaking engagements or whatnot, or even type of anything but like personal branding. Like it does have to go through certain approvals. So I think getting yourself like familiar with that first, and then you have to have that innovative, creative way of thinking. So like, hey, if I'm not approved to be a speaker because they don't think I'm on that level of thought leadership, then maybe I'll do a moderator, or maybe I'll do some moderation, or maybe I'll do a webinar. Like just always think of like a creative, innovative way that you can pivot. But first is definitely understanding like what the rules are, and then like owning it and making it your own.
I love that. And now you talk about a lot employer brand.
Yes.
And I love this idea that your personal brand isn't the whole story. So first, what is employer brand?
I think employer brand doesn't get a lot of love. So I love that we're actually talking about this. So employer brand is basically the reputation that a company has as an employer of choice or as a place to work. So you have companies and businesses that pour into consumer branding. And I think employer branding needs just as much love, just as much weight, because employer branding at the end of the day is about attracting talent and then keeping great talent. So it's about the attraction as well as the retention.
And why should workplace culture and employer brand speak just as loudly?
I think it should speak just as loudly because if we're really being honest, candidates are looking for environments. They want to work in the environment, and people work for people at the end of the day. Like long gone are the days where it's like, I have to work for this prestige brand, or I have to work for this household name. It's really about, is this the environment that I want to be in? Is this the workplace culture that I know that I can thrive in? So I think that's why it needs to be spoken as loudly, and that employers need to have that storytelling. You need to have that user-generated content with your actual employees so they can have that storytelling. They can translate what the workplace culture is like. And then, again, you're attracting why people should work for you and why you are the employer of choice.
Yeah, I would say like even during interviews when I'm interviewing someone to work at Create and Cultivate, that's a lot of their question of like, who are the people? How is the culture? You know, what is that? More of that and less of like, what's the day-to-day tactical, job?
It's like, do I see myself here? Do I even want to work with this person?
Right. And I also feel the same. I'm like, can I have a drink with you or a coffee with you if I'm not, you know what I mean? Like,
Exactly.
am I going to enjoy that? But okay, what do people misunderstand most about employer brand, especially in tech?
I think what they misunderstand that it's more than a website, because, you go, the brand pulls you in, then you're like, oh, I want to work here. And then you click on the careers tab, and then you think that's as far as it goes. And employer brand, it doesn't. And I think what I brought to Zillow and what resonates so well is like getting in front of the talent. Like we're more than the career page, we're more than the listing. So for us, we like to show up in the community. We like to have partnerships just like with Create and Cultivate, because we like to capitalize too off of other people's like networks, because that could be people that we're missing, because a lot don't know that, hey, I can have a career at Zillow, or the misconception is that I have to work in real estate to work at Zillow, and that's not the case. And so we miss out on so many people. So I'm really big on creating experiences that resonate and actually curate belief, because it's like you come to our event and it's basically about, can I see myself working here? Can I believe that I can make change here? So we're curating that belief, that trust. And I think that's what works so well for us, like getting in front of people and having those connections, those partnerships. And it's like thought leadership. It's like we're going on a road tour, basically educating people as to like what we offer, why you should work here, what makes us great, why we have great people. So basically just getting out there on the front lines.
Yeah, it's truly. And I think you guys have done such a great job at bringing Zillow in such cultural moments.
Yeah.
That has been really, really cool to see, especially since we've started working together. You've said something bold that we need to unpack. So recruiting is becoming experiential. Tell us what you mean by that.
Long gone are the days where we're just applying and like giving it into the cloud. It's like, we sit there and we just wait and pray that someone is going to reach us. So I think, it's just important that we make the experience experiential, because there's so many times where people have come to us at events and, they're like, well, what's my Zestimate? Or they're asking us questions about the market. And it's like, yeah, well, you can find your dream home, but you can also find your dream job with us. And so that helps, when you're in front of people, because it's like a light bulb goes off. Or like when we're in spaces with Create and Cultivate, those are like powerful women. Those are entrepreneur women, or those are women that work in corporate America. We have benefits that help elevate that make life easier for you. You know, you could work in Cloud HQ. You know, when you're pregnant, we have 20 weeks maternity leave. You know, if you want to have a baby, we have infertility support. We have a stipend for surrogacy, a stipend for adoption. So, you know, it basically, when you're in front of people and let them know that, it's like, oh, I didn't know this. Oh, I want to learn more. So that's what I feel as far as recruiting becoming experiential. It's like we're giving that experience and we're creating spaces for people to have community and have that belief and see themselves working at Zillow.
And you're cutting the noise, right? Like
Exactly.
you can definitely do that virtually.
Yeah.
It won't land the same.
It won't.
You need that in person. I feel so strongly about that. And at Zillow, you're obviously meeting talent where you are, from WNBA partnerships, obviously at Create and Cultivate, to Afrotech. Why do you feel like that approach from founders to leaders, like what can they take if they're running a brand? Like how can they take showing up at these events, like to recruit the right talent?
I think what it takes to show up is the storytelling. Like you have to go in there with a key message. So we're not sponsoring an event just because we want to be there, just because we want to have fun. We're sponsoring an event because we're telling a story. So with us showing up at NBA All-Star, we offered headshots because who doesn't need a headshot? And we show up where there's a pool of talent. Like who's to say that our next, you know, head of engineering isn't a huge sports fan and they're at NBA All-Star. You get what I'm saying? So we like to show up where talent gathers at. And if talent is going to be at South by Southwest, guess what? We're going to be here with you at Create and Cultivate with a supper club. Make sure you guys are there. And by the time you guys watch this, I hope you had a good time there. But yeah, so I think it's about meeting talent where it's at. That's my tagline. That's my strategy. We're meeting talent where it's at. We're resonating with them. And it's about showing up. So if one thing that a leader or founder could take away from this talk is understand what your audience is and understand the story you want to tell when you show up with that booth.
I love that. Well, let's talk a little bit about that story side. From your seat at Zillow, what do candidates care about now that companies are still underestimating?
I mean, we touched on it earlier, environments.
Yep.
Like, that's really what the candidates are looking for. They want to see, like, do I see myself here? Is there even growth here? Is there a leader that is empowering me? You know, what is like my individual development is looking like? So I think everyone cares about what's going to give them sanity, what's going to give them peace, what's going to give them a work-life balance, more so about being with the brand or being about the title. I think not a lot of people are chasing titles anymore. It's like we're chasing alignment with our careers.
Yeah, I've noticed that more and more, even when the women are showing up and approaching Zillow, like it's less even about the titlement or the title for them. It's more of like the experience and what is my life going to look like when I'm there.
Exactly.
What's the biggest red flag you see when companies talk about culture but don't live it?
Oh, the biggest red flag I see, and we see it all the time on LinkedIn, I was just talking about this the other day, the performative posts. I mean, people can see right through it and employees can see right through it. And you don't want to chance an employee seeing something that doesn't resonate with reality. Like you don't want to sit back and they're talking about like, oh my God, we give unlimited DTO and we give like free lunch, every day. And then you're sitting there like, well, where's my DoorDash gift card? I mean, I don't know, free lunch. Like, where is that at? And so you just want to make sure your storytelling aligns with the reality of what's going on at your corporation.
I love that. I think it's important, especially in the world of digital, right? And content, like very, very important.
Yeah.
If someone's listening and want to reposition themselves career-wise, what's one thing that they could do this week?
Oh, I love that. Look at y'all looking at me for advice. Ooh. I would say audit your story. So one advice I have, go on that LinkedIn, go on your Facebook, go on your Instagram and change that title. Because I think what a lot of people do now is they position themselves for where they've been and where they're at. And you need to actually position yourself to where you want to go, where you see yourself. So even on LinkedIn with just your title, like, when you go on that page, what's the first thing it reads? It shouldn't be your current job title. It should be where you want to go. So I think you need to own your career trajectory and you need to audit your story because I definitely feel your greatest pivots come from how you introduce yourself.
I love this. Before we dive into rapid fire questions, what's something you did early in your career that didn't pay off right away, but matters later that you didn't, that you least expected?
This may sound cliche, but I'm honestly going to say networking. Like I've learned networking and relationship building is huge. And I feel straight out of college, I just didn't hone in on it. I'm just like, okay, I got my degree. I'm already on red carpets doing interviews with celebrities. And I really feel like those relationships pave the way for opportunities that come later.
I love this. Rapid fire. Okay, someone's coming into the Zillow activation.
Mm-hmm.
What is what's the first thing they should do to introduce themselves? How do you think they can introduce themselves?
By self-advocacy, like owning it. Coming in that booth, owning what you do, your skill set, who you are, and how you could be of value to the company.
What's the biggest red flag that someone will, can have when they just walk in that you notice from a hiring perspective?
When they just go in there and they want the free swag.
Give me my headshot. I'm out.
Give me my headshot. Give me my tote. Like, no. If you're not like engaging and truly being immersed in the experience, like, it's okay. No, thank you.
What parts of a resume you think are the most important?
Oh, the tactic is that recruiters read the resume in an F instead of like going all the way through. So I would definitely feel like you need a strong summary and a strong title.
Love that. What has been your favorite Zillow activation that introduced you to like new people?
Oh, are y'all
Like
if y'all gonna cut this out if I don't say create and cultivate?
No.
That's a tricky question. Are we going there?
Experiential. Is it like headshot? Is it like what was an activity that you guys did that you felt like other brands that could be listening? It was like, oh, that actually landed. That maybe is like the complete opposite of Zillow.
Oh, there's two. And I'm not trying to do it as like a plug for you, which is great. But it's two that comes top of mind. But one, yes, the headshot station. Oh my God, it was crazy because then the next day we came on LinkedIn and we're seeing everyone using their headshot. And they're like, shout out to Zillow for my new headshot because at the end of the day, headshots are expensive.
Yeah.
I know because I paid for them. So that really does work because just from NBA All-Star, we got an opportunity to be with Pack Accelerate, which is like a community of retired athletes where they help transition them into corporate America. And they asked, could we go there and do the headshot activation because they experienced it at NBA All-Star. So I would say that. And then at your festival, again, since your audience caters to women and we really wanted to hone in on our women's specific benefits, like we partnered with, Paperclip, the luxury sustainable baby brand. And the swag wasn't like your typical, let me give you a water bottle, let me give you a tote. It was like a sippy cup because at the end of the day, you have mothers that are at your event. You have aunts that are at your event. You have grandmothers at the event. And a lot of people say, oh, this was very intentional because then they learned about our benefits that we have for women and they saw the tie with the 2-in-1 sippy cup from Paperclip. So
I love that. Yeah. I mean, if you were going to say any other event, I would have cut it out. Just kidding.
Yeah. I knew where this was going. So I was like, let me drop two.
Oh, no.
Two examples.
I am obsessed with that. What is last takeaway if there's someone that is listening that is thinking about their personal brand and employer brand, a tip that you would give them?
A tip that I would give is just own the room, like own your flaws. Cause I feel like that's what got me far. Like owning the pivots, owning getting laid off because it builds character. So for me, owning, your journey and curating your journey and like owning that storytelling of your journey is like, you should walk in the room and like basically that aura is like lit up because you're like, I own it. I'm here. What can I do? How can I pivot? How am I of value? Just walk in confident.
I love that.
And the self-advocacy takes you far.
You crushed it. You're amazing. Where can people find you and where can people find Zillow?
Oh, look at me dropping the plug. Well, people can find Zillow. Follow us on Zillow Group Life on Instagram because that you'll see the actual culture. So yes, we have our Zillow homefront page, which is for consumers. But if you really want to take a deep dive and learn about like our company culture, where we offer or where we're going to be at recruiting at Zillow Group Life, you can catch us on TikTok. We now have a TikTok page. We're live, and that's at Zillow Group Life as well. And then you can find me on Instagram, but since I'm here representing Zillow, I don't want to get my personal Instagram.
LinkedIn. How about that?
Yes, on LinkedIn, Adrien Fleming, MS, because I got to rep me getting the master's. Am I using it? No. But Adrien Fleming, MS, I'm in Miami, Florida, but feel free to reach out. Like I'm always loving to be in the community. And if certain opportunities align with our recruiting goals and where we're at, give me a holler.
I love it. You're amazing. Thank you for coming to Work Party.
Amazing. Thank you.
Thanks for listening to this episode of Work Party. If you like what you heard, follow, leave a review, rate the pod, or slide into our DMs.
Check out the different ways you can create and cultivate on our website, createcultivate.com. From retreats and masterminds to our summits and festival.
We have different experiences to support you through your entrepreneurial journey from launch
to legacy.
Follow us at Create Cultivate on all platforms. And don't forget, work hard.
Party on.
Please note that this episode may contain paid endorsements and advertisements for products and services. Individuals on the show may have a direct or indirect financial interest in products or services referred to in this episode.